Hey, excuse me. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, June 30th, 2025. I, of course, am here with the Daily Mortgage Rate Update, the only place on the web that I know of where you are invited each day to join me live each and every weekday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And we talk about what's going on with rates and pricing. This is going to be a big week. Got a lot to talk about. And today we're going to kind of cover what's coming up this week. What are the big events? Of course, we've got the holiday. It's a short week. What happened over the weekend with Canada, eh? Those nice Canadians. Tim Horton took a run for it. They had to apologize. So we'll be going over all that in a minute. If you're here this morning, say good morning. If you're watching the replay, don't forget, give me hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Let Facebook and YouTube know that you were here. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag an LO friend, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment. Remember, your comments help engagement, which I always appreciate. If you'd like a reminder that I'm going live, we send out a text every morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time to remind you that I'm here. You don't have to depend on the social media channels. We can go ahead and send you that text. You can sign up at hmmr.io/reminder or use this cool QR code over here. And there you go. So while we're waiting for everybody to hop on this morning, what'd y'all do this weekend? Let me know in the comments. What were you up to this weekend? I'm going to show you what I was up to. I'm going to have some fun here and show you a little bit here. So here is the kitchen. I finally completed the molding. I did all the crown molding along the top. See it all up here. Let's see. Where's Presentify? Presentify. There you go. So yeah, you see, I did all the crown molding all the way around the top, and then all the baseboard molding that you see like all around here. You can kind of see it real clear. Did all of that. So that's what I was up to this weekend. Finally, the backsplash tile came in. So the kitchen is almost done. The appliances are in. Everything's working great. So we got all that going. And here's just some close-ups of what it looks like. I built this out. Those are filled in, the little nail holes, but I took that picture before that. And look at how nice and tight those connections are. I do good work, y'all. I'm not going to lie. So if you need a kitchen remodel done, don't call me. But I did do my own. Look at that. Look at how tight that connection is. Booyah. There's no space in there, baby. Those are all dialed in and got some of the insulation up in the barn. A little bit more insulation left. Oy vey. So much to do. Here's the cats having a standoff. This is the young kitten, the foster, and this is Millie. You guys know Millie, my old cat. So she's not really liking these folks here. So anyway, what were you guys up to this weekend? Let me know in the comments. Curious. And thank you, Bobby J. Jones. So appreciate that. And Rob Wilson, Lake and Barbecue. Went to the Rocket Challenge in Detroit. What is the Rocket Challenge, Mike? I'm not familiar with that. Holly Johnson, good morning. Rob Wilson, great to see all of you. Megan Bissell, pickleball and beach volleyball this weekend. Very cool, very active. Good for you. I wish that I was going to be that active. So this afternoon we'll be leaving and going to Jersey. So I'll be coming to you from the road this week, going to visit my niece Lily up in New Jersey. So we will be, I will be coming to you from remote. So, all right, my friends. Well, let's get back to the good stuff here. Again, appreciate all of you that are joining me. It's so much fun having you. Mountain biking, Debbie Richardson. Look, y'all are a physical group. That's great. Good morning, Allison Foy. Great to see you. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into all the other good stuff. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, sir. All right, so mortgage-backed securities currently up 8 basis points on the morning. Let me refresh this, and we're going to zoom in. Oh, well, look at that. Actually, only 6 basis points. Well, that changes everything. Actually, no, that changes nothing. So if you look, when we came out with pricing, generally, we were right around here. We're a little bit better right now. So that would, because again, this would bring us here. Being a little bit better, like what you see here, that means that we should see slightly better. Also, you tend to see pretty, conservative pricing on a Friday. So we should be slightly better pricing this morning is, kind of where we're at. Not tremendous, but slightly. Take a look at the 10-year treasury yield. Look at this, y'all. 4.26 and potentially moving lower. Oops. Take a look here. I wanted to show you let's see, we were at 4.24 on Thursday, 4.28 on Friday, 4.26. So we are seeing improvement. If you want to talk technicals, it remains below the 200-day moving average. We did that back here in April, and it was only for just a couple of days. Same thing with mortgage bonds. If you take a look here, this was right at that end of April, April 29th, 30th. So this is 2 months ago. And you could see that right at the end of April, we had that same little bit of a blurb. But take a look here, mortgage bonds. This was the end of April here. Mortgage bonds already above that. Not much, but there is some incline to here. So this is a good sign. Now, we are potentially, we could see mortgage bonds continue to work their way higher. These are levels that we haven't seen since March. And even then, it was only for a couple of days, or actually it was the beginning of April. 100.40, we're at 99.88 now. That would be another 50 basis points higher. We may not see all 50 bips, but we may continue to press up to these levels. If we were to draw if we were to do a technical line, by the way, you could do a technical line right about here. Ooh, that's not perfectly straight, but it's close enough. So you could see right here, there is room in the technicals to see mortgage-backed securities continue to work their way higher this week, depending on how the data comes in. Now, when it comes to economic data and where things are going to kind of be, we know that it's a short week because we've got the holiday on Friday for the 4th of July, but more so than just that, even that holiday, markets close on Thursday. Thursday is going to be a very, very busy morning. And then you're going to most likely see some movement in the afternoon due to lower trading volume as everybody takes the rest of the weekend off. So we've got a lot of volatility. Now, normally, when we get to the jobs data, we tend to want to lock into jobs data. Not this time. We want to be floating into this week's jobs data. It's risky. There's always a gamble. All right. However, the opportunity to see mortgage-backed securities improve and see them push up to these higher levels, if we get weakness in the jobs data, that's going to help to push the idea of a July Fed rate cut. Let me move this over so you guys can see this a little better. And let me bring the bottom up. Okay. So right now, there is about a 20% expectation that we could see a cut in July. We could expect to see speculation for that increase this week if the jobs data comes in light. A lot of the Fed speakers, Bowman, we've got Bostic and Goolsbee talking. They're going to point out that expect some inflation for the tariff stuff, but the tariff stuff is really settled in. Even Canada, we got a lot of grief from Canada. Friday, they started out crap. They did what was a digital services tax that they were putting on U.S. companies, U.S. tech companies. And, again, love him, hate him, however you feel about him. He's Trump, right? Trump turned around and was like, hey, no problem. Dropped all trade talks and said, give us a week. We're going to have new tariffs on you. And, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney he blinked, he said, okay, I give in. And they dropped and withdrew this digital services tax. And now they're trying to salvage the trade talks. So this is helping bonds a little bit this morning. You're getting a little bit of a gain from that. And that's part of what hurt us a little bit on Friday. But overall, it's still here. Now, this week, we also have all of the talk about the big, beautiful bill. It does not look like it's ready to pass the Senate yet. There's still a lot of back and forth. However, Trump's date was getting done by July 4th. So, he's going to push hard. He's going to be leaning hard on that. So you're going to see a lot of behind the scenes going on here. Markets don't seem to be quite as concerned about it getting done now and the amount of debt that it's going to bring, surprisingly. So we'll see. So Ron Siegel says, with the early close to markets, it'll be a rocky road in the morning and then everyone is gone. Yeah, but then what happens to those reduced trading volumes, Ron? You'll see some erratic trading in mortgage bonds that can lead to some lender reprices, possibly as we get into Thursday, but we'll see. But yeah, all the action is going to be in the morning because you're going to have jobless claims. We're going to have non-farm payroll, and there's something else that I was thinking of, but I can't remember what it is. I think I have some non-manufacturing data is on Thursday too. So let's see. Ron Siegel said not really reported, but the start of percent work on SLR late last week is driving this market. So yeah, that's a good one to be talking about too. I'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. I don't feel like talking a lot. My throat's still hurting me. My voice is hurting. So Ron says the bill will get done this week. We all know the motivators of Congress leaving for the holiday. Yeah, that's true. Now, can Trump keep them from leaving, or can he demand that they not leave? I don't know the ins and the outs of that one. I'm a mortgage redneck. I don't really know the politics of that. So I don't know if he could try to insist that they stay and that they get it done. But yeah, he will be looking to get this done. But markets don't really seem too worried about the debt load on that. Things are pushing forward. So anyway, the outlook, the trend, still very good for mortgage rates and pricing, y'all. And that's why we want to continue floating. I mean, we would definitely be paranoid going into the Thursday jobs report. And it is on Thursday, of course, because of the holiday on Friday. But we could see, look at this. We could see the 10-year get down, testing into the fours. We haven't seen, what was this, 4.17. We haven't seen this since, the end of April. And then before that was at the very, very beginning of April. And we could absolutely see this tick back down into that, kind of the fours to the 14s. We could see the 10-year treasury yield drop. So we want to definitely be keeping an eye on this. Technicals taking a backseat to the fundamentals and where all the data will be coming in this week and where things will be at. So you definitely want to continue floating on it for now. And as we see where this brings us, there's minimal risk. Thursday is jobless claims, ISM, along with the jobs report. Yeah, it's ISM non-manufacturing on Thursday. So, all right, my friends, I'm going to blow my nose. You don't need to be here for that. I'm still wrapping up this summer cold. So I will see you tomorrow. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll talk more tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.